Okay, we got to move on to the mass hole. All right, here's an example. The Thomas Massie fraud. By the way, if you are still on the Thomas Massie side of things, which I've been getting a lot of comments lately and a lot of messages lately of people really hating how much I'm going after Thomas Massie. I don't know how you ignore something like this.
The Epstein class notion resonates. Bad people did bad things, and that the Trump administration are letting them get away with it. And more importantly, they're not just letting them get away with it, they're actively participating in the cover-up.
What a lot of my colleagues are calling the Epstein class.
This is the Epstein class ruling our country.
The Epstein class who is running this government.
The Epstein class are rigging the rules, protecting themselves, while ordinary people in America are getting shafted.
He's still in with the Epstein class. This is the Epstein administration.
The Epstein class notion.
What? Thomas Massie? Did I just hear you say that? Did you just get your marching orders, bro? Did you just get the script? Angelo Carlusone, Media Matters, one of the most hardcore, far leftist, extreme media companies. Total rag, disgusting people. Jamie freaking Raskin, one of the worst in Congress. Guy calling for civil war last year. Remember when I was getting all that crap? Look, Jamie Raskin said there's going to be a civil war if Trump wins. It's like, no, there won't be. He's just an idiot. John Ossoff, Georgia Democratic senator who stole his Senate seat after in 2020 in the runoff election. Hardcore Trump hater. Morning Joe, MSNBC tool. Enough said. Ro Khanna, one of the most leftist Democrats there is, tries to pass himself off as an everyman. Total fraud. Just got the wealth tax in California that cost California $1 trillion in billionaires leaving the state. These are some of the worst on the Democratic side, running their whole Epstein class narrative right now. This is like Sesame Street, guys. Which one of these don't belong with the others? Masshole. I
Resonate.
I try not to hate people, but I cannot stand this man. He is awful. This guy is so bad. If you guys cannot, like, if you still think he is America First truther boy, explain this. Explain the talking points going out from the left, and you are touting the same thing. That, my friends, is about as obvious as it gets. But I got more. Ro Khanna and Massie implied 4 redacted names in the Epstein files were co-conspirators, and the DOJ was covering for them. The DOJ unmasked the names. It turned out they were random guys involved in a lineup. Do you guys remember last week when I played the clip of Ro Khanna saying the 4 names, and I read those 4 names, and I said, nobody knows who these people are. I said, other than Lex Wessner, who we all knew was in there, and the Sultan, I was like, we don't know who these other 4 people are. They're not a big deal. Why are we making such a big deal about this? Well, it turns out not only was I right, I was wrong on how right I was, because they were such not a big deal that those 4 poor guys were just in the files because they were in a police lineup trying to catch somebody. And that's why they were in the Epstein files. Now, these guys' names have been outed as in the Epstein files because of this retard and Thomas Massie. The 4 men in unredacted files named by Ro Khanna have no ties to Epstein. This is what they told us they had. We got names. The Justice Department. And by the way, guys, if this is one of those things that tells you, if you really expect the Epstein files are just going to have massive bombshells still in them that are redacted, I'm sorry, but it might just be a bunch of this. It might just be a bunch of this. Not saying all this, but it might just be a lot of this. of people who are redacted to actually protect their names because they did nothing. These guys, Ro Khanna and Thomas Massie, got to go in and look at unredacted names, find the files they wanted, had a chance afterwards to research who they were looking into and be like, okay, this is nothing, or okay, we got something. And then come to the floor where they are immune from slander laws, from libel laws. They are immune on the floor of the House when they give testimony. They can out any name they want. And this is all they had. I'm sorry, guys. I just... How is anybody stupid enough to still think these guys are heroes? I just don't. How? Here's Massie giving his little speech on ABC and going so far that even ABC had to correct him.
He's still in with the Epstein class. This is the Epstein administration, and they're attacking me for trying to get these files released.
And again, I'm going to say President Trump has not been accused of anything criminal here. Thank you very much.
What does it say when ABC News is correcting Thomas Massie about Trump not being accused of anything? It's unbelievable. And this guy, this total fraud who has got the libertards cheering him on like he's the greatest hero in modern history, is out there going full anti-Trump BS nonsense. The Epstein class. He's now labeling President Trump as the Epstein class. That, my friends, is a classic PSYOP maneuver. You don't do that when you're trying to get to the truth. You do that when you're trying to destroy an opponent. Trump was great at it. Think about it. Lion Ted, Crooked Hillary, Low Energy Jeb. This is great stuff. And now they found their running order, like their here's your orders, here's what you're going to run with to label them, and we hope it sticks. The Epstein class. That, my friends, is that's pathetic. It's just pathetic. And what's even more pathetic is a lot of people are buying into it. It's just, again, when this is your crowd, you really need to rethink where you're at. This, if I was his opponent, Thomas Massie's opponent, Ed Galstein, I would turn this into an ad, and I would run it over and over and over again. In fact, does he have it? I'm just going to do this right now. Hey, at Ed Galstein. Does he come out? Galrain. Ad to defeat Thomas Massie. Let's see if he sees it. I mean, I would run this over and over and over again. Is it just, I mean, it's just crazy. It's so crazy obvious. All right. Look at this. The principled man, Thomas Massie. Again, listen, I got to put a poll up. I got to put a poll up. As I need to ask a question. After everything we've covered on this show. By the way, real quick, guys, if you don't mind hitting that like, I'd appreciate it. All right, where is the chat? There it is. It was not coming up for a second. All right, let's do a little poll here. I want to know how, if anybody who's been watching my shows still trusts Thomas Massie. So, is Thomas Massie legit? I'll just leave it like that. There you go. Let's see. Let's see who still believes it. Remember, the poll's anonymous, guys, so I won't bite your head off if you answer yes. I'm just interested in what that looks like. They are primarying Massie, and the guys gained on him. So much so that Thomas Massie, el principled man, is fundraising off his latest Epstein hoax. Massie refuses to apologize to 4 guys he smeared. This from Mike Davis, attorney at law, Senate Judiciary Committee. Here's his ads. I'm fighting aimlessly against a hopeless agenda of hate and stupidity. Let's go. Help me fight. SecureThomasMassie.com donate. He was quoting Trump. Donate, baby, because I'm the only one. When Bondi crashed her testimony at our hearing, I knew the president would attack me as revenge. What about you, buddy? Calling him Epstein class. Help me stay in the fight. ThomasMassie.com. This is so pathetic. I mean, I get all fundraising with politicians can be pathetic. Okay, I'm not saying that, but look where he's getting, remember, I don't take AIPAC money. Okay. But you are taking Zionist Jewish billionaire Jeff Yaz's money. Yas, heavily involved in Israeli politics, having sponsored an Israeli think tank that came out with Netanyahu's judicial reform proposals. Donated heavily to moderate Democrats in 24. Moderate Democrats. It's funny he's getting Democratic donors, huh? Why is a Giga Zionist backing the supposedly Thrive Thomas First based? Facing opposition from Trump gets a hand from billionaire mega donor Jeff Yaz. There it is. Yeah. Jeff Yaz gave $1 million to a new super PAC in recent weeks, been advertising in support of Massie's re-election. Huh, yeah. Don't take AIPAC money, but still funded by Israel. That's funny how that works, isn't it? Yeah. Let's keep going. I love what this girl did. Create an account on Blue Sky for a minute to see what Thomas Massie vibes are over there. He's their darling. They're convinced he's going to bring down Trump. The entire administration giddy about it. They care not about Epstein files, but the fact he's their knight that will hand back power to the left. For those who don't know, Blue Sky is like, it's like if every worst of the worst liberal, I'm talking far left, not moderates, all went to the same place to chirp at each other. That's Blue Sky. It is the most leftist social media. It's the MSNBC of social media. And she put it out here. This is when Thomas Massie put his suicides. Is Thomas Massie telling us he's in imminent danger of being killed? Do we need to start a GoFundMe team for him? These are the Democrats. These are far lefties. I just love me some Thomas Massie and Ro Khanna. I'm probably going to get blocked by hundreds for saying this, but Thomas Massie is kind of hot. Starting to love Thomas Massie. I just gave a small donation to Thomas Massie, even though I detest almost every position he holds. But I really, really want elected Republicans to see someone defy Trump and come out on top. Massie losing his seat would be a dangerous lesson we can't afford right now. Thomas Massie's like a dog with a bone. Stay safe, sir. Trump is a psychopath. Thomas Massie, when all is said and done, will go down in history as courageous, honest, and admirable. Trump will go down as the most morally corrupt, callous, and destructive liar to ever live in the White House, ever. I never thought I'd say, oh, F yeah, Thomas Massie out loud, ever, but here we are. As I say this, it surprises me as a Democrat in Kentucky. Thomas Massie is a respectable Republican for now. May his tribe increase. This is crazy. This is the left. If you think that's what you want to be as a Republican, as a guy, is even a libertarian, you crazy, bro. You crazy. And now we're finding out this. Massie and Ro Khanna killed efforts not only to add more resources towards the review process that would have helped the DOJ not be so overwhelmed, but also doing more to help protect people, victims, or had nothing to do with Epstein. Here's the story. I've spoken with members of Jonathan Turley report who are part of the conference on the petition to force the release of these documents. Massie and Khanna opposed efforts to amend the petition to allow for greater resources to review the millions of documents. Why? Is it because you maybe wanted the DOJ to be completely tied up here? Guys, I'm telling you, I mean, why? You couldn't throw $1 million in there for some temps? I don't know. Oh, and now Massie's out there saying Merrick Garland performed much better than Bondi after the House hearing. Merrick freaking Garland, the worst AG in our history. Worse than Eric Holder. Merrick Garland, the guy who went after people for praying in abortion clinics. The guy who slammed up threw away the key for J6ers, some of them who just protested and never even went in the building. That Merrick Garland, corrupt, awful human being, terrible man, assaulted our civil liberties, our freedoms for 4 years. And Thomas Massie is now lifting him up over Pam Bondi. What the heck are we doing, folks? Who is still supporting this man? It makes me sick. It makes me sick. All right, if you didn't vote. Where are we at right now? 92% say Thomas Massie is not legit. Only 8% are still on the Massie train. Get your votes in. I want to see if that goes up or down. But 92%, my audience is based. Why? Because all I do is show you guys the evidence. Listen, you know what a lot of people do? They'll sit here on the screen and talk to you like this. And they'll just say whatever they feel like saying. And many people will follow these types. What do? I show you the stories. I show you the clips because I want you guys to see the journey. I want you guys to always understand how I get to where I'm at. I don't arrive at these conclusions because I'm just walking around saying, I hate Thomas Massie. No, I read the stories and the hatred just brews as I keep reading them. It just gets worse and worse. This is supposed to be the hero because he wants the Epstein files out, bro. Come on, bro. He wants them out. He's a real hero. Massie's a real hero. Oh, we're up to 93. 93% say Thomas Massie is not legit to 7% who say he is. That, my friends, is a base crowd.